what's up? What's up? We back. We back again. Episode 6. I'm telling you, I don't know how many times y'all gonna keep hearing this, but we are not leaving. You can't get rid of us. We that one roach. That one roach.
We ain't going nowhere.
You comparing us to roaches? No.
Yeah, that roach that out. That's like in that little corner. You never can get him, but you know he coming out at nighttime. So we here.
You sprayed him, but you gonna see him tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, look, fellas, episode 6. Like I say, we keeping it rolling. As always, this is gonna be we getting better and better. And this episode here is just gonna be another great one. We have some special guests that we're gonna bring. We'll introduce a little bit later. We're gonna keep y'all anticipated on who these individuals are. But it's gonna be a great show. But as always, as we get started, let's do a little check-in, fellas. Kelly, what's up?
Not much, man. It's been a good couple of weeks. Just kind of rolling along with this and school, and we've got like 6 or 7 weeks, but left in school. I think we talked about it a little bit last time, about the STAR testing, and that's coming up this week. So that's kind of stressful going through that for the first time. So that's definitely on my mind. But everything's been good. Family's good. It's been a little rainy around here, and not too happy with my Cowboys right now, but we'll be talking about the draft here in a minute. Mayberry, what about you? How you been?
Man, everything's pretty good, man. I can't complain. No new updates so far, man. We just counting this thing down to this school year. Got Mother's Day coming up, so I'm trying to plan something good for my mother, But other than that, man, slow boogie.
I think that's like the best thing though. Like no big updates, nothing too crazy going on after the last year and a half.
Exactly.
Real bad lately.
Most definitely. Maybe said somewhere. May is always that month for me that I'm like, I'm thankful for it, but then I'm like, oh man, just I'm kind of be stressed out because of the fact that it's Mother's Day. So I got my mother, I got my wife, I got my mother-in-law, I got aunts, I got older cousins that you got to take care of, that we're all close. And then my wife, who I say did this on purpose. So we have our anniversary, we have her birthday. And so 1 year, man, it was our anniversary, her birthday, and then Mother's Day, all 3 days back to back. So this year,
back to back.
And I'm talking about, and she always, you got to do 3 different gifts. Now you're going to get one. We ain't playing like that, but I mean, it's good, man. Yeah.
So your wife got a birthday coming up.
Yeah, so she has
She's a Taurus.
Yeah, but I don't do all that, but I do think about Tauruses, and she is crazy.
The only reason I say we're not crazy, the only reason I say that is because I got a birthday coming up May 18th. You know what I'm saying? That's why I make sure, of course I'm gonna give my mother something good anyway, but I know if I take care of it, you know what I'm saying, 9 days later I'm gonna get that, get that payback.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Definitely. I kind of do that with Christmas. I'm kind of like, if I get you something good, and my birthday come around in March, so I'm expecting something, the same thing. But it never works out for me the same. So, but I mean, for me, it's been good as well. I mean, school year, like Kelly just said, we got 7 weeks, but who's counting? So we got 7 weeks. So to get this school year over, it's been a long, crazy one. I think I was telling somebody yesterday, we're in May now, but we still got a month and a half to go.
Exactly.
So it's still it seems like it's far away, but we count them down. But other than me, man, I'll be honest. I'll try to be transparent on here. I'm telling Linwood and DP and some of the counselors yesterday, man, my blood pressure kind of shot up, and I was like, man, I don't know what it was for, but as we know yesterday with some events that happened on campus and just dealing with students and your life person, I'm like, man, I know what it's for. It's just been a lot going on. When you don't really know that you got to stress, but I mean, a lot of, when your brain is moving so much thinking about stuff, I'm like, I see where the stress is coming from, but I'm trying to handle that, man. Drink more water. That's what I'm doing.
Yes.
And you can never go wrong with more water.
Never.
How do you guys think, how weird is it going to be for y'all? Because this, again, first year for me, but for y'all who have taught multiple years now, when it hits June 1st, June 2nd, June 3rd, and you're still in school, how weird is that going to feel and be?
It's going, well, okay, so, I've worked summer school in the past, so, I'm usually working until June, but now that we actually have to be there, you know what I'm saying, till June 18th. You know, and like I say, I don't want to say have to, like it's a bad thing, but, you know, it's kind of different. You know, I was talking to another special education, well, I think he's an assistant principal for special education department. But anyways, they're in another district, and they were talking about getting out of school in the next 3 weeks. It's like, how?
Yeah. Wow.
You know, and then I forgot, you know, DISD, we started a little later than some of the other neighboring districts. And I got mad at them real quick, you know, like I'm jealous. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, hey, you know, don't rub it in, you know?
Yeah, that's funny, man, because when we were still out and before we even got started, you know, some districts were going back and we were still like, hi, y'all got to go back. We still, you know, staying up late, but now they the ones laughing as they getting ready to wrap up their year. And we still got all the way into the middle of June. It's not like the beginning of June. We got to go to the middle.
Exactly.
And then that's not
start on time.
Yeah, the 18th is not. That's the last day for kids. We, you know, teachers got to still to be there for about 3-4 more days, and then my contract goes all the way with Dr. Martinez. So I'm gonna be there to the end of June. So it's just gonna be. So we still got a long way to go. But hey, but let me ask y'all, man. Like as Kelly was just saying, his first year, me and, you know, Mayberry, you the veteran here on the show, and then me kind of wrapping up this 4th year in education. Like, how has this year been for you, Kelly? Like, as you think about everything that's happened this year from when we started to as we get close, like, how would you sum up this year?
Absolutely wild. And like in a great way, like in a really, really good way. But like, I've learned a lot about teaching and myself, and you know what it takes to go day in and day out of handling is not the right word, but you know, interacting with the students and making sure that they feel included and they feel understood, but at the same time having that like discipline and keeping everything in order, as well as like all the evaluations and all the, you know, different things that kind of go into it. It's been a lot, but it's been really, really rewarding. And it feels really good because like what my subject is so different than, you know, in English or in math. So it's also been a little bit scary where like I'm talking to the kids about, how did I bring it up? Oh, I brought up one day, I was like, how are they teaching you guys, and this is super random, but how are they teaching you guys 9/11? Just wanted to see what they were being taught. One student was like, oh, our teacher came in and said the government did it. And I was like, what? Like in elementary school, they were told that. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what? And so like, there are those moments. But then that same day, somebody brought up the Titanic. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, there's this, and this. And this one girl goes, yeah, and like Jack and Rose were like real people. Stopped the entire conversation. I went, hold on, what did you just say? She's like,
wait, what?
And on the door, and like that actually happened. And I was like, you're saying from like the movie Titanic? She's like, yeah, like it was an autobiographical movie. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like,
no.
Everybody. And was like, and like whenever something like that comes up, I immediately like Google it or like find a reputable source for them to like see. So all I Googled, and I knew it was about to pop up, was were Jack and Rose real people? And like the first article was like, no. I was like, there you go, guys. So it's like moments like that, they're crazy, but it feels rewarding to be able to like share that information and help them learn things that they probably would not have been exposed to. So that part of it's been really, really great.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry for that long-winded answer.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as I'll tell you about how this year's been for me, but what you were just saying, man, that is a good learning moment and teaching moment, like for you as a teacher and for the students, because today in social media where everything can be so real. Like there is an article out there about Jack and Rose, about how they grew up, and I mean they did a whole backstory on them when you know that's not real. And then I remember they were talking about as a math teacher. I remember one year, I think my first year, there was an article. I think we talked about it like in our PLC or something, but it was just funny that it was brought up that they were talking about the dimensions of the door, like how Jack could have fit on there, and Rose was she was being selfish because she could have fit on the door because they measured him. I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
Leave it to teachers.
Yeah, I'm talking about they went in depth. Like if he would have laid here this type of angle, he could have laid. I'm like, but if you read that, you'll be like, man, that probably was like you start because I know for me and us as we're older, like we do kind of like when I first seen Titanic, I was hurt to see that, but like I walk out of that like that's a movie, like that ain't real, but
exactly.
Somebody out there saying those are real people probably, but hey, that's good though, Kelly, that you at least address it and correct it in the moment. Not letting that student walk out there still thinking Jack and Rose are real, and the band was still playing, which probably was though. I think I did read that the band was still playing when it was going down.
And that's kind of the scary part. Like I'm a huge movie person, and it's like it's kind of worrying that when they like watch a movie, it's like, oh, everything. If it says like based on a true story, like some people immediately think like everything that they see is real, but in actuality, like only some of it is. Like I think there was a band still playing like as it was going down, so that was like factual, but like not understanding that movies and directors and producers, whoever it is, the writers do make up characters for these movies, or they amalgamate different people into like one character, not understanding that and not knowing, and they're middle schoolers, so like maybe they really shouldn't, but like having that idea that like maybe some people just watch a movie and think, oh, it says based on a true story, everything in that is real.
Yeah,
it's a little scary. So
I don't blame them, because I mean I watched some movies and I really felt like that if Captain Marvel didn't come back, this world was over with. They were gonna take the Tesseract from
real talk.
Thanos was gonna do that snap and the world was over with. Because like, so I mean, sometimes like, man, is there a Thanos out there? But
if
like,
Tony doesn't come back, and if he does kill,
the bobblehead.
That's good, man. That's what I think. That's what education about. I mean, for me this year, it's been a learning process, dealing with being on the other side of being out of the classroom and dealing with like more students and really just trying to figure out more about the students and kind of learning from them. I was telling Dr. Martinez, man, I said I really have found out like asking the question why. Like that has been powerful this year. Like when a student comes in my office for whatever reason, it's like I give them opportunity to give me their side of the story. Like, what did you do? And like, hopefully they be honest, but I'm like, why did you do that? Like, or why is this going on? And why are you acting this way? And to really hear some of the reasons why, like you really find out like, man, like they're going through a lot, or this is just a bad day for them. And it's not really so much that they're trying to act out. It's just what they're being like. I think we talked about what they're influenced by. Like, it's like, these kids sometimes, man, they got a lot going on in their lives, just like we do as adults. Like they dealing with a lot. So I think one thing that if I had to wrap up this year is just really just trying to really dive deeper into the root cause of things, like for students, even for teachers, or when data comes back and we as a team are like kind of looking at like, why is that happening? And like, so just really trying to figure out just like the why in situations. So that's what I would say for this year. I've grown in that area.
What about you, Mayberry?
I think the areas that I've grown the most are probably the technology side of it. Being able to communicate and connect with kids, via Zoom and virtually has been a challenge. But working through those challenges, I think has made me a better teacher, better educator. And like I say, moving forward, I hear educators who've been 30, 40 years in saying all the time, education is about to go virtual anyway, and we're dinosaurs. And, you hear all of these things. So, I believe it. We already have online classes for colleges and, what I'm saying? So I think as education progresses, it's going to be more virtual classes, especially high school, middle school, elementary, moving forward. So I think that being able to be in that environment and learn, what's going on and how to communicate, how to be accessible for my students, I think that is I can't call it a loss, a lost year,
It's interesting because like we hear a lot at our school about how students are not doing as well because they're online or they're failing multiple classes. But then there's like I think it was the Dallas Morning News. They had an article last month, where a student was basically saying like he didn't want to go back into school because his grades had gone up. His all
Mm-hmm.
had gone up by like a letter grade. Do you guys think that there's going to be an avenue for some kids who just do a whole lot better online, and that's something that every school is going to have to kind of maybe not deal with, but kind of handle moving forward?
I do. I think that it goes, well, of course it goes both ways, but I mean, like there are students out there who have excelled, you know what I'm saying, with the online, who do better, not having to travel to school and go from class to class to class, and he can sit on the computer for 6 to 7 hours at a time and complete assignments, and that's not a problem for them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, and I think, not to say that they're better students than the ones that learn in person, it's different, but yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. And as we like think ahead, like when we get into next school year, where everybody's like, when you hear politicians, you hear the president, you hear the governor that they want students to be back 100% in school. They're also going to be like, I'm kind of following policy where there's going to be avenues where select like certain kids, like those who may benefit from being at home, will get the opportunity to still be at home to learn virtual. But I mean, I do think there's some like I talk to parents and I'm like, hey, I'm thinking that like, hey, they should come back to school. Like, no, I pull up their grades. I'm like, oh, they are doing better. And the parents like, no, they actually are. Like, they're good. Like, it's some athletes that we got, student athletes that they're virtual. They come up and I talk to them. And they're like, no, I'm liking it at home virtual. Like, so I mean, it's gonna be those platform or avenues, like you say, for kids to be at home who are doing good. Like I think at the end of the day, we have to sit here and be like, if we're talking about supporting and the whole child and what's best for them, like you got to give them those opportunities that if they're doing great at home, hey, let them learn from home. But there is the social emotional part of the other part. Like if they're at home all day, because my daughter, she's virtual right now, and me and my wife kind of talk about that. Like, hey, like she needs to get out some, like, and so there is that part too. So it's I just think that if academically, if they're learning and then giving them opportunities like to still like what we're doing, we're gonna have some kids that can come back up for activities for athletes, or even for the eighth grade they can come up, prom and all that. So like giving them that opportunity to get that social emotional side. So we'll see how it is, man, as we get ready to, get into 100% back, or we're gonna get for sure get more kids back next year. And I want to kind of ask, like, Kelly, as this your first year, like you only knowing this right here, like only knowing probably like 13 to 14 physical kids in your room, and then you got some virtual, like how do you think you're gonna be next year if you have like 25 kids in your room?
It makes me a little nervous. Not from like it makes me nervous from the aspect of I've got a couple classes that are very energetic and very talkative, and my personality is much more laid back, and I want to see kind of how all the kids are going to interact and letting them kind of bounce off each other. But that can then lead to it gets out of hand really fast, where they're all talking to each other about what they're going to do after school, or there's been some fight out in the outside, and they're talking about that. And so I'm more worried about having to be much more strict about keeping everybody on task, and really having to be much more stringent with keeping everything kind of in line. So that makes me a little bit worried. But at the same time, I think, more kids brings more perspectives and brings more, ideas and a lot more conversation on the things that we want to talk about. So it helps people kind of learn more. So I'm really excited just to kind of see what it will be like to have more than 5 kids in the class. And on top of that, like if I'm not having to worry about Zoom, then my focus is 100% on all the kids that are in the room, and that then frees me up to do a lot more. So I think just those two things, it's exciting, but it is a little bit nerve-wracking to kind of see what that will be like. I mean, maybe you were there before everything was on Zoom. Are you excited to go back to like all kids are back on campus?
I don't know if excited is the word. I mean, being a coach, it's not as hard for me because, a lot of the students, all students love coaches, so, and it's one of the reasons I got into teaching was, because I enjoy helping students become, be better people. But whenever the kids do get back, like I say, I do also recognize that, hey, accountability rises for everybody. We got more students, so there's more things that students are doing around campus. As that rises, you have to, we pay attention all day anyway. We have to focus on more attention, put more attention into it, that we have more students back with us. So, but like I say, it's something that we're not, suited to handle.
Yeah, I mean, I think like well, maybe kind of what you were just saying, like we're gonna have we do keep our eyes out like now, but I think it's gonna be. I think you're gonna have to take a little like be more intentional with like
exactly
being always more and asking. Like I do respect these teachers when they come to me and they come to me like I know I'm getting on your nerves, but I'm hearing this about this kid, and I respect that because you do need to be listening what's going on, and I think teachers are gonna have to put their ears more to the, as they say, the streets of the hallways of what's going on when more kids are coming back. Because, man, one thing that I'm gonna say is that like the discipline this year, it hasn't been so like being at Seagoville before. I've seen it where, there's situations like in the hallway, like every period there could be almost something going on. Like teachers got to be like, hey, break it up, go to class. Where there hasn't been so much this year. But I know like next year, man, it's just because you're going to get more people back.
Exactly.
Kids, like even like kids that are like haven't seen their friends or like this many people. It's just that energy is just going to be there for, not to say even like this, just the fact that we just got to be like aware of things.
Exactly.
So like next year, I think that, like you said, it's not so much exciting, but I think I'm ready for the task. Like this year has been kind of like it's been a learning lesson because really with discipline, I had to deal with in-person discipline and the virtual discipline. That was crazy too. So, maybe that takes the stress off. Like we ain't got to deal with so much virtual because that was a task in itself. And then but to have almost back to 1,400, like we almost been a year and a half without that being like at campus. So teachers who've been veteran teachers, I think they're gonna have to relearn some things because they've been kind of accustomed to working from home for that end of that last school year to like just having like half of they in-person students in class. So I think it's gonna be a learning lesson for everybody.
Yeah. It was interesting because like I don't know if I said this in the show or not, but like Thursday, I was out of my room and all of a sudden I hear a roar kind of like to my left, and I look over and there's just a bunch of people, and I'm like, that's a fight. And like my first instinct was like, I took one step and I was like, am I gonna go over there and like break this up? Like I'm 5'9" and only like $150. Like I'm gonna get that's gonna happen here. But then I saw our officers and some other people running up, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay over here. So it's like you never really know how you're gonna react in that moment for like the first time that you see that. So my thought is like with more kids, there's going to be more of that next year.
Yes.
So it's a little nerve wracking to think like, if there's more of that, what's the reaction going to be of, if I'm only a teacher in that moment, like that's my responsibility to break it up and make sure it doesn't escalate any further. So there is that thought as well.
So I will say, for you, Ken, I will say that students, most of the time, I think, who told me that? I think Bolin told me this, that students actually, they want like that adult presence. So like sometimes, man, you will see situations where I done been in situations where I just walk down the hallway and kids just break up and I ain't even saying nothing. It's just like it's kind of like it's needed for them also. So like, as you move forward, man, all you got to do is just step out there. Hey, break it up! Like they hear that voice, and
and they disperse.
It's almost like probably a bad like comparison, but it's like in a NBA game where as soon as the ref like gets in the middle of it, they're like they don't want to fight, like they don't want to.
And with some consequences, they come later with it.
That's what they start to think a little bit. So I mean, hopefully that will, be beneficial next year for us, like being a presence out there just in the hallways and just kind of knowing what's going on. But let me say this, fellas, as this is a great time right now to kind of bring in our guest for the day, because one thing we Kelly said he's seen that incident and they maybe can speak on some, but this is a good time because these people that I'm gonna bring in, man, I'm gonna tell you, I work with them. I've been on the side of being a teacher and seeing what they do, but now this year it's been great because I've actually got to work with them, and we've been a team, and we've been handling that discipline, and we've been running them hallways, and we've been falling on the ground and tripping.
Yes.
And it's my pleasure to bring in two great people. Like I say, they are the ones who keep the building and the culture positive. Our school monitors, Mr. Linwood and
Yeah.
Mr. What's up?
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Yo, welcome to the show.
Yeah, they
Good
do.
morning,
They need a
good
hand
morning.
clap. Let's give them a hand. They do need that hand clap. They need that respect.
What up, DP?
What up, Coach Mayberry?
What's up, Linwood?
What's up?
Thank y'all for being here with us this morning, man. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I like I say, I get to work with these two fine individuals like every day. Like, and I'm talking about they are the ones when DP like, Mr. DuBois, I need you to talk to this student, and then we'll be like, come on, DuBois, like close the door. Let's intervene. And like,
Yeah.
and also just to know these individuals, just not on from the work side, but just as knowing them as individuals personally, it's been a pleasure. So for all our listeners, they know you, especially our students and teachers, they know y'all as the school monitors walking down the hallway correcting students here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But who is DP as somebody on this Saturday? Like who is DP? DP, tell me who you are, and then at Linwood, you come right back in after DP is finished.
Okay.
DP is hi y'all. Nice to talk to all of y'all. DP, I'm I try to be more of a positive and a chill type person. I love working at our school. I will tell you that is probably the best campus I have ever worked for as far as like the people I work around. I love that we all get around, we all talk to each other. We all get along. We all try to do the teamwork. Mr. Du Bois, I can't say enough about you because I love that they brought you in. You have made, I know, my life a whole lot more manageable. You take the time to listen to us and help us. And I love that about you. And it's just, to me, it's a overall good experience. And I'm glad that I'm at a part of Seekville Middle School. But a little bit about me, I love Dallas Cowboys. Gonna live and die Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, man.
Anybody that knows me since 6 years old, I love it. I love to mentor kids. I really feel like God has put me there, and I feel like that's the place I need to be. I've learned a lot from the children there. I've learned a lot from the staff there. The kids can really make you feel really good. I don't know if y'all noticed the other day I dressed up, and this was all a thing when Miss Ellis started, and everybody wanted to see me in a dress, which, probably wouldn't have happened, but shout out to Linwood, Vargas, Shelley, Miss Ellis. They all made it happen. I had a dress on, and I went to one classroom, and one little young man in there said, DP, you're so beautiful. And then he says, you're prettier than a movie star. Made my day. I mean, I just touched my heart. It's just like this moments like that make everything. It's awesome. These kids are awesome.
And now she's shopping for dresses.
Yeah, I'm shopping for dresses, y'all.
Nice.
That's like that. I mean, that right there is DP. First of all, Linwood, I'm gonna let you go, but I gotta throw this in, and Linwood can attest to this. DP is gonna be extra. She's gonna be extra, but she's a good extra.
Great extra.
I was just telling DP this yesterday, and she knows me and her were talking. I said it's a balance beam, but you need both sides of DP. I asked DP, who is DP? She over here talking about other stuff, about me and other like things, not even telling about who DP is, but that's the extra part of DP, which is like I appreciate because like I say, you need that, especially in a school like Seagoville Middle, you need that extra. And then you got Mr. Linwood to balance her out. So let out who you are.
At least I try to balance her out. Sometimes she get away from it. Let her do her. But Mr. Linwood, Michael is my first name, in case people don't know, because we go by this last name thing. What you see at school is what I give on the weekends. You know, I'm serious when I need to be serious, and I'm playful when I need to be playful. There's a time and place for both of them. I'm workaholic, so I have multiple jobs. So I have another part-time job that I work at after Seagoville, and sometimes on the weekend. I'm trying to dial it back, you know, because I need my sanity as well, my health. So, but yeah, Mr. Linwood is Michael. Mr. Linwood is fun, outgoing, love music. So if you see me sing, I'm always singing. I'm always eating. Coach Drew used to call me Snacks because every time you see me, I'm eating something or drinking something. I don't know if it's a tapeworm or what it is, but I'm just always eating. But pretty much, I'm an open book. What you see is what you get. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't hide from it. And like I said, I'm me all day long. I get that from my mom. She's her all day long, so I can only be me.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, Linwood said it. Like in the cafeteria, you put some music on, he gonna be dancing, he gonna be singing. Dance. Like he has a variety of music. I like that because I'm not just so much in the hip hop. You get Linwood, he'll give you some pop, some R&B, some classical. He'll dance to anything.
Hey man, Linwood got some moves too. We did our new edition group, and whenever we were practicing, we practiced for about 2 or 3 weeks. And Linwood came up with all the moves. And we won first place, and we beat the dance team instructor. I'm gonna make sure I throw that part in there too.
We did. We performed several times since then.
Yeah.
But I would take credit for that. But Warren also helped with the dance move.
Yeah.
Like I got 2 left feet, so synchronizing don't work for me. But I can groove. But yeah, I can. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for that. Have fun.
I would have to say with that dance group, I was saying like that was a funny because Linwood probably had the best moves. And Mayberry, you over there slow motion. Mayberry,
hey man, I was slow boogie with it, man. Hey man,
yeah,
I was in there.
Well, for me with like both Linwood and DP, I think for me, the very first people outside of like the administrators or Dr. Martinez, who I guess is administrator, who I ever met at the school, whoever came up and like said hi, were Linwood and DP. DP came around to check on something, and we started talking about the Cowboys, and Mr. Linwood came by just to introduce himself. So those were like the 2 people that immediately just made me feel welcome at the school. And for me, I didn't know that we had school monitors. I was so fresh. I had no idea what was going on. What made you guys want to become school monitors, and kind of what was the process? How have you enjoyed it over these last couple of years?
Well, for me, I started as a substitute teacher in the ISD and in Irvin ISD. That's how I got started in the education field. Before I worked call centers, and if anybody who worked call centers know that can be too much at a time. 7 years doing that. But I wanted a career change, and my mom had worked. She works at the school. She works at Griner, and she was like, "Hey, maybe you should, try being a sub." I'm like, "Sub? I don't like kids. I don't know if I want to be around kids like that." But she was like, "You know what? Try it and see see how it is." And so I did it. I was a permanent sub for a science teacher at Griner who had I don't know if she was pregnant or think something happened. And so they put me in a science class, and that was my first time really being around a lot of kids. And it was different. I wasn't used to it. And then, but with substituting, you only work when there are students involved. And so when the students are out, you're out. You don't get paid. You don't work. So I was like, well, that's cool, but I need some money in the meantime. And so she was like, well, her principal ended up being the ED of Seagoville. And she let me know that there was a monitor position going on. And so monitors get paid the entire year. So I'm not gonna lie to say money was one of my main reasons for doing it. However, starting doing it, like I said, I was new to kids. What you see now is not the Linwood that started. Like, I didn't have to raise my voice. I'm a loud person, but I'm an introvert as well. So I never really had to raise my voice. Now I can fill up a room. That's different. But what made me stay is I just like the camaraderie of Seagoville. It's really, although Dr. Mayberry would say we're not a family, we're a team, it really does feel like family because we spend most of our time with Seagoville, with the staff at Seagoville. And so I've developed relationships with, I would say, pretty much everyone at Seagoville, but there are some people that I communicate outside of talking about Seagoville, which we always bring to Seagoville. But again, the camaraderie and just, we have a good time. It's, me and DP always say, it's one of the easiest jobs that I've had, but it's also one of the hardest jobs that I've had because you have to deal with people and relationships and building trust and that, stuff like that. But I really enjoy being in Seagoville. That's why I haven't left.
Yeah, I like that relationship part because he putting doctor on your name. Maybe I know you meant Martinez.
I heard that. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Dr. Mayberry, right?
I want them. I want them type of people in my life that speak that type of
Yes, it's on the way, baby.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate that, Linwood, and kind of telling us, your background and how you got here, DP. And first of all, DP, tell the audience what's your real name?
My real name is Darlene Pelaez.
Hey, Darlene.
Yeah, that's
hey. 8-time man of the year.
Yeah. Darlene, how did you come into being a school monitor?
Most of y'all know that I retired and I wanted to do something to give back to the community. A lot of people don't know, but I was adopted. Went through a lot of things being adopted, so I can relate to a lot of these kids. I know a transaction, from elementary school to middle school is probably one of the hardest things for kids because they go from the leader of the pack to the lowest of the pack. So I know right away they have a lot to deal with, a lot of emotions and all that stuff. And I'm really glad that I'm in 6th grade because I can help them make that smooth transaction. My goal is I want every kid there to know who DP is. Me and Linwood have this thing. We can flip the switch real easy. Good cop, bad cop type situation. We're real good at, pulling off each other. I'm a hugger. Oh my God. Before the COVID, it was, hug every kid that comes in. And, sometimes these kids don't get hugged. They don't get love. And I've got that motherly instinct in me that I feel like all these kids are my kids. We're with them all the time. We're with everybody there. It just, I love being able to mentor. I love, shout out to Coach Drew, let me help with the softball team because, that's my thing. I love sports. I was always active in school. Always, that was my thing, still is. So I get to do a job that's really, it's kind of awesome. People are always, the staff is good to us. They're always bringing us food, which we love. The kids, yes. Oh my God, the kids, man, for Christmas, they bring little gifts for you. The parents bring little gifts for you. It's like kids will write you little notes that, you hang up on the refrigerator, you frame, that just melt your heart. I mean, where else can you get this? And we have fun. We literally have fun. We dance, we get fed, and we talk. And it's just like, it's awesome. And it's like, to be honest with you, I feel like I'm in school again sometimes because I can actually say that I enjoy working at school more than I was at school. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah, because my years at school were not good. They weren't. So I can definitely relate to that because it's like most of y'all will argue this, but I'm Hispanic, even though, people say, no, I'm not.
Are you really?
I really am. Okay, I really am. Okay. I even got my 5 extra points that we get when I worked for my last job for being Hispanic. Okay.
Okay.
So I really have that, but I was raised by white people, but it helped me deal with some of the problems that's going on in today's world, because y'all, it's like I was the only dark person in a white town. It's just like there was no African Americans, there was no Hispanics, there was no Chinese, there was nothing. So I got bullied a lot. People used to make fun of me, and it hurt. And I still carry that inside of me to the day. So I think that has actually helped me with the kids, the things that go on today, and I think I really feel this is where God wanted me to be. And I love it. I love it. Yeah. I can't say nothing but positive things. And I look forward to many more years there and many more experiences.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So let me ask both of y'all a question. What do y'all love the most, the very most that y'all love about Seagoville Middle School? We'll start with you, Mr. Linwood.
What I love the most about Seagoville, it's very, although it can be chaotic, it's really relaxed. I do like the relaxed part of it. It doesn't feel like work. I'm, like I said, I'm a workaholic, so even on the weekends, I'm like, okay, can the weekend be what's going on? I'm kind of boring too, so my excitement is work. So yeah, I would say the most exciting part about working at Seagoville is that it doesn't feel like work.
Where do you think that atmosphere of, it's really relaxed, where do you think that comes from?
It's kind of hard to put into words where I think it comes from. I just think Seagoville is kind of outside the city limits, so it's much calmer there. So the outside, from what's going on the outside, we bring on the inside, and so it's it's not chaotic.
Yeah.
Like if we were in inner city, like if we had a school deep in downtown Dallas, that seemed like it's a bunch of stuff going on, so that would carry in to the school. Not that we don't have things going on around that come into the school, but I do think because it's offset of the city, it can be people are more relaxed and people are more comfortable.
Most definitely, I do agree about that. I mean, Seagoville, it seems like Dallas being an urban district, it seems like Seagoville is like rural. It's kind of like country almost. That like and you can feel it. Like me coming in from like riding, I come in riding from 20 from Lancaster. So like, but when you exit out 175, it's like it is a different feel. There's even that exit. Like, so I see what you're saying. I do agree with that. It does seem a little bit calmer. Like just the atmosphere and the surroundings of Seagoville. So DP, what about you? What do you like about or love about Seagoville Middle School?
What I love about Seagoville School is I really feel like it's more of a country type field, because like Linwood said, we're not in the big, Dallas, downtown Dallas and all that. So we don't have the same issues that they really have. I like that you can come to work, and where else could you see cows across the street? I mean, we've heard stories about the sheep and stuff escaping, and last week, I won't say what, but they called me the whisper. That we won't talk about that. But I am a little like, I have my dog. Most of y'all know that I actually adopted a dog from Seagoville from 2 years ago. That's actually in my house now, and her name's Hope. I love that we can just about do anything that we all put our minds to. It's just like we all come together as a team, from the kids to the parents to the staff. And it's like we all uphold and uplift everybody when we're going through this time, because when we all started, none of us knew what was going to go on. None of us had a clue what was going to happen. I mean, before, and y'all know I'm not technology anything, but me and Linwood jumped in there, and it's like, hey, let's do this. Let's help. Let's do, and then the nurse, hey, hey, it's COVID. Okay, I get excited over COVID. I shouldn't be, because I'm wired a little different. That's my extra. I wanted to give the boy a test, but he wouldn't let me give the little test, because I was ready. I got them videos and training.
Never.
But I love that. I love that. We just all help, no matter what it is. If it's janitorial, cafeteria, teaching, whatever. We got it. We got it.
Most definitely. I tell Linwood for sure, he knows, but I mean, y'all need to be teachers. Like, I mean,
Yes.
or I would say this, I'll be honest with this saying, I think that y'all's calling is school monitors, but they need to make sure that they take care of like school monitors more in every regard of like pay, benefits, like everything. Like if they could do that, because I think y'all was calling is in this role, but I think that like we need to advocate more for our school monitors because, like I say, I do believe that y'all are the ones that keep the building not only safe but keep it running. Like a lot of people, like I said, being out of the classroom, I see everything that y'all do.
Yeah.
And so they need to make sure that y'all are taken care of more. But I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna ask a quick question, and I'm gonna just right off the top of your head, Linwood and DP. Don't think about it when I ask this question. Team bowling or team Du Bois?
The boys, the boys, the boys,
But
the boys.
I gotta ride for my man Bowden. I gotta ride for my man
We
Bowden.
got
I
a
got
split.
you, the boys.
We got a split.
I'm off the
I
show.
got you. I got you.
We got a split.
I got you, the boys, but I got Bowden.
First time in MD 2020 history. Got us a split down the middle.
That's why DP is my favorite. I'm gonna say that then, Linwood. He's my favorite.
That's fine. I'm good at being not the favorite.
He said it's fine.
Yeah, well, I just had to ask. I just want to make sure, I respect your answers. I say both of y'all. I respect the answers. That's what's up. We need it.
Y'all are crazy.
So let me
Yeah.
let me before we get as we wrapping up, I want to just ask y'all, coming from that the school monitors type role, like where do you see education going? Like after this year, y'all done dealt with so many years before the pandemic, but going through this year with the pandemic, like where do you see education from your perspective and viewpoints? Like where do y'all see that going in the next like 2 years, 3 years, like whatever? Like how do you see the future of education after we're coming out of this pandemic?
Right. Well, COVID has changed education for good. I mean, it's changed things that we didn't know could happen. Who would have thought that we would go virtual? Like that's a college thing. Oh, that happens later in life. And we try to prepare those kids for that. Well, when you're in school, when you're in college, you're going to do online, so it's going to be up to you. And here it is in middle school, and it's up to them to do their work. So I do think it's changed. I do think because parents and children and people who work there, we're so eager for it to be normal. So there's going to be a rush back to everyone on campus. But we do have to take into consideration those kids who are learning better virtually. So I do think there should be an avenue for kids to do virtual because not every kid does well in crowded places or in crowded rooms, So I do see education setting aside a realm for virtual as well.
P, what about you?
I think that, like Linwood, I don't think school will ever be the same from now. Now that we've made this step from in school learning to virtual, I think it's going to be a mixture. I love the fact that kids can be working on a project virtual or in school as far as that go and reach out to millions of resources all over the world and collaborate with different students from different countries even. I love that aspect of it. I love that I've spent a lot of time talking to the kids about some kids actually love being virtual and they do better virtual, whereas some kids miss that aspect and want to be in person. And when they come back, they do better in person. So I think from here on, I think education is going to change drastically because it's going to be a mixture. And it's going to be a split. I'm curious to know if it's going to be higher in virtual amount or more coming to in person. And I kind of lean towards it's going to be more virtual than in person. And I also wonder how it's going to affect teachers. What's going to happen to us as teachers, as wise, as districts, I feel like people that are making these decisions about stuff need to take all that into consideration, when they're having all these meetings and stuff about all this, because it's a lot, and I want to give it a shout out to our teachers. They made it happen this year. They did.
I mean, right here on this show right here, it shows I think we got teachers, we got inclusion teachers, admins, we got the hall money. Like, we represent what it took this year to make it through. So you're right, DP and Linwood. I think it is going to be different, but I think we are up for the task of getting it done. I know one thing that is going to be different as we wrap up, and this has nothing to do with education, but one thing is going to be different, but one thing is going to stay the same. One thing is going to be different is NFL season next year. One thing that ain't going to change is that the Cowboys still going to suck. So,
we can't go 8-8 anymore. So I don't know what you're talking about.
So Linwood, you're right, Kelly. Linwood, have you kept up with the draft this year? Like
I'm not big on sports.
Just say no. Say no, Linwood. Just say no.
I did. I actually watched the first day of the draft. So,
Okay.
Of course, I knew nobody, but it was interesting. I looked more at the suits that they were wearing than anything else. But it was cool to watch. It was something normal, it was something we hadn't seen, because I don't know if they did it. Did they do it last year?
I'll give.
It was all virtual.
Oh, it was all virtual. So yeah,
I got to give the Cowboys a big shout out. First round, they had the 10th pick. They swindled it and getting a third round pick out of that. Got to the 12th pick, and then still got Micah Parsons, linebacker out of Penn State. Yeah, that was a great pickup. I think the Cowboys made a good little move with that one, so I applaud them on that. I didn't have too much else to do in the first round.
Coming from the Texans fan, you ain't got really too much to say.
I just was finna ride with y'all. I ain't riding nowhere with you now.
Texans didn't even have to pick in the first or second round, so then they
we said that on one of the past podcasts. We don't have to repeat that. We don't have to keep on talking about
at a Stanford.
Then we took a quarterback. Yeah, it took a quarterback. Like, oh, okay. Well, thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, DP, how you feel about what happened? Well, how do you feel about the future of the Cowboys?
I'm gonna keep it positive. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray. This is gonna be our year. I know I've been listening to that probably longer than anybody on here since 6 years old. But I got a feeling it's coming. It's coming. I got to keep it real. It's coming. I like some of the picks we got. I'm gonna hope that Jerry Jones just steps away. That's our best thing we can do. Jerry Jones, it's time to go. And if he ever sees this podcast, you gonna remember me. You're the one that always said I was the lady that knew something about sports, because I used to own 8 seats in your stadium. You know that. Me and you used to talk. So, I'm still that one. Step your business out. You got the money, step away. It's time. It's time. Go to the pasture. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this. I'm gonna say 2 things. The Colts. I think as I said, I'm gonna hold it down, putting 2 feet down, 10 toes, all the way down. We're gonna win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Soon as we just need a wide receiver, we can pick up a decent wide receiver, and we still need an offensive lineman, but we're gonna be all right. We're gonna win the Super Bowl this year. We're gonna be better than the Cowboys. But let me tell you, I heard that they said that they asked y'all's coach, they asked him, why did they make one of the selections? I think round 2 pick or something.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on the call.
No.
And then Jerry Jones jumped in and said, it's his determination. And I'm like, coach not even on the Zoom call for your pick that you're gonna make. So that's Cowboys they always do you a good
the boys.
Jerry's world, man.
The boys, the Colts just took a tight end from SMU.
Tight end? We don't need a tight end, man.
Kylan Green.
I still got Austin Collie, don't you?
Yeah, we got. I don't know why we need an offensive tackle, man. I don't know what they're doing.
But you know what, the boys, Des Bryant's still out there. Throw up the X. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? He might be able to help y'all a little something.
You know what? I will say he probably could, but one thing we don't do, we don't fraternize with the enemy.
Right.
Like, I don't know why y'all made a trade with the Eagles. I don't understand that, but hey,
Dude, don't. Oh my
That
gosh,
shocked me.
so mad at our draft.
I don't get that. But you know, that's the Cowboys, man. But hey, I wouldn't mind taking. I mean, there's he veteran wide receiver. We need somebody else out there to help out Ty. Pittman is good, but hey, man, you know, we'll see. We'll have to get back with Linwood and DP. You know, maybe next year after the Colts win the Super Bowl, and we'll come back to this.
Hey,
There
I'm
we
going
go.
on live saying I got money. Money talks. Y'all ain't gonna win no Super Bowl.
They're not DP. They gotta make it
They
out the
not
AFC
going.
South
They not
first.
gonna win that Super Bowl.
So me and DP, we'll talk offline. We'll talk offline.
Okay.
I'm all about money, DP. So we'll talk offline. But go ahead, Kelly.
No, just real fast about the Cowboys. I'm not happy with their draft, but that's for another thing. We should have gotten up and gotten a corner, but that's whatever. So, you know, we talked about it a little bit. We got it's now May, which is insane. We've got about a month and a half left of school. STAR testing's coming up, so we're gonna blow through this month and a half real fast. So, as we kind of come to a close and this year finishes up, you know, what are y'all's views and how do you guys think this year has gone, you know, 2020 into 2021?
Mind blowing.
Mind blowing. In what?
Like a roller coaster, but you just adapt. Sometimes you don't know how to adapt. You go left, don't work, go right, go backwards. You'll find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind from not having that many kids in the building to I feel like we are at 100% because if you look in the cafeterias, it's just getting more and more and more, so it's starting to look more and more normal, which I think is what everyone is wishing and hoping for, just to be normal. So I think it's been a challenging year. It's been kind of boring for me. Like I find myself like sitting like I should be doing something right now. I be walking around the school, like, what the kids doing? Like looking for trouble because it's so boring. But then when trouble finds, I'm like, really? Like Thursday, I'm like, really? We've been so good, and all of a sudden now y'all want to start doing this, but. More people, more problems.
More people, more problems.
And you know what? I'm gonna tell you who my best friend's been throughout this year. Duct tape. That tape has been my friend. We have found more ways to make that work on them shields.
Right.
Tell them, DP.
Dog, yes. You see Linwood and me, duct tape and scissors. Duct tape and scissors.
Man. Well, we sure appreciate y'all being on the show today. Something we do every episode, we get a shout out. You know what I'm saying? You get to shout out one special person or a group of special people that you want to, you know, recognize. So who are y'all people that y'all want to shout out? We'll start with you, Linwood.
I'm going to shout out Miss Hinchin, Miss Smith, and Miss Woods. They have been and Miss Maupin. They have been working with that STAR testing, tailpass testing. Shout out to them for doing it. Miss Hinchin on their radio, calling for kids all day long that's been there and should have been taking their test. So shout out to them for helping us achieve that goal, and looking forward to seeing them work next week as well.
Nice.
What
about you, DP?
I'm going to give a shout out to my 6th grade, because I'm going to tell you what, without my teachers, I tell you what, they have helped, stepped in when we've been short, behind. I mean, Weatherspoon, man, I done told her we need to get a radio, man. My girl, you know, I've got the kids trained. If they see me running, they know to go to her room. DP's running. You got to go. She got it. She might run and know what direction she's running to, but by God, she's running. You know, it's like, you know, Dofler, all them. I mean, Arredondo, all my 6th grade, man, I'm telling you, they step up when they see us struggling. They step up, they come and help, you know, the metal detector, they direct lines, anything they need to do. I love it. My 6th grade, I love you. My teachers.
Nice.
You said it, DP, right there. It's the teamwork. You know, this year has been a crazy year, but I mean, thing. When you got people who don't even have duty on that day, but they out there in the hallways, either at the metal detectors, outside, just that's what it is all about. And I think as we move forward, and that's well, as we move forward, we most definitely teamwork is going to be the main thing. But I mean, Linwood and DP, y'all are the definition. They need to put a picture of y'all too, right in the dictionary of teamwork and what makes everything possible to keep everything moving and making things work. So, I mean, it was a pleasure. It's an honor. We're very thankful for y'all too to us on the MD 2020.
Very thankful.
Appreciate y'all, everything that y'all do. I tell you, DP, keep being extra. Don't let nobody tell you different. And being you, Linwood, you
yes.
I know when to get Linwood, I know, like DP said, y'all good cop, bad cop. I'm gonna call Linwood in there. Linwood gonna stand. He gonna be looking into the student's soul.
Yeah.
After I didn't talk to her, I try to be like, tell me what happened. You can't be doing that. Then I look at Linwood and I say, Linwood, you got anything to say? He said, and this Linwood, let me tell you something. Don't stop nowhere. I'll be like, yeah. So
yeah.
Appreciate y'all, man. Another great guest on our show. We're gonna just keep it moving. So, let us know if y'all need anything. But thank you, Mrs. DP Darlene.
And hey, watch it.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Darlene.
No problem.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Sure, man.
We'll see y'all on Monday.
All right.
Bright and early and bushy tail.
Bye, everybody.
You know it.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, fellas, as always, I think that was, very informative, like just to get to know them and more than just our school monitors, but get to know them as people, why definitely. They do what they do, and then like what keeps them running, like what motivates them, and like so that was powerful, man. I think that we got two great, school monitors going to be very very beneficial and very helpful as we move forward to make Seagoville Middle School one of the best middle schools here in Dallas ISD.
Definitely.
It's just great to get more information about them and hear their backgrounds and where they came from, and gives you more kind of perspective on day in and day out what they're doing and how you can
definitely.
Yeah, I think, like I said, for me to really get to work with them every day, I'm like every day to to see like the changes that we're at the school, to know that we're gonna have situations like Friday, you're gonna have that. But I'm gonna tell you this, that I know that we've stopped a lot of situations from happening because of what DP is like. She'll come to me I'm hearing this, and she gonna talk to him, and Linwood, he doing the same thing. They really putting their ears to the hallways and having.
They really do. They really
a lot of situations that could have happened did happen because of them too. And
the students love, especially they love both of them, but especially DP. I hear students talk about DP all the time, and they just trust her, they trust her to come to her and tell her stuff. So, and then, like I say, they put us ahead of the curve, whenever things do happen.
Most definitely. One thing that I also see that's really impactful is DP being up for sixth grade, she sees them each year, as they do, as they're seventh grade. Even though DP is assigned to eighth grade and DP is assigned to sixth grade and Linwood assigned to eighth, that it doesn't matter to them. If it's a sixth grade issue and DP may not be there, Linwood's gonna take over. He may bring me a sixth grader, and DP is gonna bring me an eighth grader. It's just that teamwork, man. That's what it's really about, and I appreciate them too. And we got another great show of a great guest, and we're just gonna keep that.
Yes, Lord, man.
Well, fellas, as we wrap up another episode 6, like I say, we're almost ending the year, but I want people to know that this don't stop. Even though the school year may end, we're gonna continue this trio of greatness.
Greatness.
Yeah, so but as we wrapping up, fellas, we got to get our shout outs, but I want to ask you all, as we have done this show 6 episodes, and in the goal of creating, if y'all remember, I know y'all do, from those first PD days when I was I wanted to start one, and y'all jumped on it. What do y'all think has been? Do you think that we've hit our goal of success of what we're trying to do with the show, or how do y'all feel?
For sure,
I feel like for sure we didn't hit our success. I remember one of the things that we wanted to do was to continue to get better weekly. You know what I'm saying? Especially working with each other with this podcast, because I know it was a learning curve for, you know what I'm saying, for most of us, even though, you know, Kelly is, you two guys have been into it, but, you know, the process has been fantastic. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love the meeting, you know what I'm saying, and getting ready for the podcast. I love it. I love recording the podcasts, you know, having our guests, and I'm saying it's a great experience for sure, for sure. I can't wait to keep it going.
Most definitely. I think for me, you just said it was kind of like us, how we kind of built that relationship between us three. Like we've gotten better. Like each one has been better. Like just so. I mean, I just appreciate at the end of the day, I don't care if one person listens, it's just the time to get together with y'all two and just build up on greatness.
Exactly.
That's what's impactful to me. But Kelly, what about you?
No, for sure. Because I think we were able to kind of pivot and go from doing it in person to, over Zoom. And that's opened up a lot of possibilities of getting guests in here and making it a lot easier for people to join us and to make this grow. And, the other thing about it is I didn't think about how teachers would interact with this, how they would want to share this with their students. And, we've got teachers who are asking us to kind of like do it, to kind of mold it down into like shorter, segments or, videos so that they can, share that with their students. And so I think that aspect of it is really, really cool to hear that we're putting something out there that they're hearing and thinking it's valuable for their students. And so that's a really, really cool thing from other teachers.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, when I get students who come up to me and be like, they be like, I heard your voice in my class. Crazy. Like, it's cool because like that was the goal, man, just to really just kind of put something out there that's just something different that we can just kind of build on and just continue building positivity around the culture of Seagoville Middle School and just our community. So, I mean, I appreciate y'all taking on this ride, and we still got a long way to go, but I appreciate y'all each time. We got to get them shout outs as we wrap up this another great episode. So, Kelly, well, Mayberry, like he ready to go. What you got, Mayberry? Who you shout out?
I say I'm gonna go first today. I got 2 shout outs. Y'all gonna like both of them. I shout out our sister network, Coach Witherspoon and Paulo. You know what I'm saying? Our sister network, the K&G show. And then a special shout out to the MD 2020, to my 2 brethren right here.
Ready.
Mr. Kelly, shout out to y'all too, man. I appreciate y'all. And like I say, let's keep this thing going, man.
All right, that's greatness right there. I appreciate that.
It's greatness right there, baby.
Kelly, what you got?
I'm going to go in a weird direction. It's obviously the NFL draft this weekend. We talked a little bit about it. I'm a huge North Texas guy. That's where I graduated from. Got the hoodie and the sweet mini helmet.
Yeah.
But to shout out the first ever pick since 2004 from the Mean Green, Jalen Darden just went in the 4th round to the Tampa Bay Bucks. So he's going to go join Brady in the
nice.
So really, really excited about that. Saw that pop up and saw his name pop up. And so that's one of those really cool things to see your school, back in the draft after 17 years. Just building that program. So congrats to Darden. Congrats to the Mean Green family and everybody over there in Denton. Hopefully we're building something over there in Denton with our football program.
Well, most definitely.
Awesome,
I'm representing UNT as well, so that's big, man. So go green, that's greatness right there. I remember them days in the Mean Green and Denton. So that's a great one right there. So I'm gonna do 2 as well with like Mayberry, and one of Mayberry's shout outs is gonna be mine too. 2 ladies. I'm gonna first is Paulo. She just had her baby also earlier. So, big shout out to her and her family. They got a blessing with a new baby coming into their family. So big shout out to Miss Paulo. And then also it's a lady y'all may not know, but one person who has kind of grown me in the area of dealing with just students. Dr. Duke, she's the assistant principal at Marshall, but she was my assistant principal last year when I was at Piedmont. So Big shout out to Dr. Duke. And she's also pregnant. She'll be having her baby next week. So big shout out to these new blessings. But fellas, another show wrapped up. Shout outs done. Linwood DP holding us down on this one. It's just nothing but greatness going on. So keep supporting us. We'll be sharing this. Y'all share it with your friends, families, your
Yeah.
kids, everybody. Share it with your dog, your cat.
Yeah, that.
Listen.
Let
And then,
everybody hear it.
yeah, and also support the Chatting with K&G also. So it's another one wrapped down in the books. We'll see y'all for episode 7. Be safe and easy out there.
Easy out there, people. Be good.